Hello, Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm here with the Weather Together bundle. Well, this is really only a bundle for just about 2 more days with the umbrella weather framelits, which are wonderful dies to cut out these umbrella pieces, which I would not want to be fussy cutting myself. So after the new catalog goes live June 1st, 2017, these two products will not be sold together as a bundle anymore, and you won't get the 10% savings. So we're going to be using this and featuring this today, and I'm making a card designed to send off to somebody who might be having a tough time, so they're wishing for brighter days. And I'm starting with the Tempting Turquoise cardstock, and it's a half a sheet, 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and scored at 5 1/2 inches, and then folded for my card base. And I'm just going to set that aside for right now. This is a photopolymer set, so while I'm stamping, I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce pad just to give me a little bit more cushion. I'm going to start, first of all, with this piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock. You can find all the dimensions and the directions and just the supplies I've used on my blog at mystamplady.com. So I've already gone ahead and cut out some masks that I've even used before. You can use something like Post-it paper. I'm actually using a sticky back masking paper here, and I just save them until I can't use them any longer. And with Smoky Slate, I'm going to stamp my umbrella, and I'm using this umbrella image here. There are a couple of them, and I'll be using a different one later. But I'm just going to stamp this across the bottom. I'm going to tuck my black paper up above because I'm going to be hanging off the edges. So since I don't want it to look like a jumbled mess of umbrellas, I'm going to mask them as I go across. So I've hung off the edge there, and then just placing the mask. And one nice thing about masking with this set is that you've got those dies to cut out your masks. Now, one thing you do want to know is the dies do cut it slightly larger. So I'm going to move it over a bit. They cut it slightly larger than the image, so you will have a little white space around it. If you don't want that, then you will want to go ahead and cut out, just hand cut your dies. So I've stamped another one, and I'm going to put another mask on. I'm just kind of hanging my mask over to the edge where I know I need it. And then let's do the last umbrella. Okay, so now you can see how I have my umbrellas looking like they are in front of each other rather than just stamped over each other. Now I'm going to do I'm moving this just a little bit up because I don't want that white space along the bottom here now. So I've moved them up a little bit. And if you don't want to worry about that white space, just go ahead and stamp on a piece of Post-it note or scrap paper and then make your own mask. So I've got that one. I'm going to pull this up, go over and cover up this one. I'm going to make this last umbrella right here look like it's way in the back. So I'm going to go over here and stamp this one first. And now I need to do a little bit of moving. I need to cover up. Let's see, I'll take this off first. Oh, I have 3 of them. Good. I'm going to put this one over here. And I'm covering up this one, and we'll cover up this one here. Go. And then do that last one. So I'm actually doing this little middle umbrella here. So this is going to look like it's furthest in the back, even though it was stamped last. Okay, so pull my masks off, and there you can see how my umbrellas are kind of stacked here at the bottom. Use this little shorter handle, and I'm just going to put some handles in here at the bottom of these umbrellas. And because it's photopolymer, it's really easy just to line it up. I am not using watercolor paper, and if you want to use more water, you might be a little more successful using watercolor paper. I'm just going to try to be careful about not getting too much water on my umbrellas. I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of ink color over the top here. I don't want it to be too concentrated or saturated either, so I did add a little more water. Then I'll just let it dry in between. But if you really want to not worry about the concentration or how much ink you're getting down, then use watercolor paper. It'll take the water a little bit better. I might have to help this dry a little bit with a heat tool. I'm just kind of give a little bit of a solid look to these umbrellas. Okay, just wipe that aqua painter off. So I'm going to give this a little bit of time to dry because I did do quite a bit of painting on there. And while this is drying, I'm going to jump over. You can see my painting there. I'm going to jump over and work on my focal image. A little bit squished in here. Okay, I have the tuxedo black ink. I'm going to ink up the image that says "Wishing You Brighter Days," and I'm just going to stamp that along the bottom, and it just fits. So if you want it to look like it has a little bit more room, use a little larger piece of cardstock. But this one is 2.5 inches wide, and I had liked how that looked. So now I have smoky slate, and we have a few clouds to do here. I'm going to stamp my larger cloud first. I'm just going to go across and stamp. Now, because I am going to cut out my umbrella, I can just stamp it right across and not worrying about it showing through. And I use the smaller cloud to fill in. I'm going to add a little bit of ink color to this, not as much as I added to the umbrellas, just give it a little bit of smoky slate on here. Get a little bit of solidness to my clouds, but I want them to still be very light. And then I'm going to add my Wink of Stella. I doubt you'll be able to see on the camera as well as you can in real life because the lights in real life really pick up that Wink of Stella. But I'm just going to go in and color in those clouds, give them a little bit of shimmery, kind of like the silver lining type feel. And I was trying to kind of go for, and you're going to see I'm going to add Melon Mambo to this card, which is going to add an interesting dynamic to it and contrast. But my kind of thought behind was that the umbrellas at the bottom of the card are kind of someone going through the bad time, and then my focal piece is going to be the brighter days. So I've got that, and I'm going to let that dry. So now I have a piece of Pool Party, and that's just a background and a piece of smoky slate cardstock. I'm going to take the longer umbrella handle, ink that up, and we'll just stamp that on the smoky slate. And now I have Tempting Turquoise, and I will stamp the stripy umbrella in Tempting Turquoise onto Pool Party. So now I'll just pick out the dies that coordinate with that. Wonderful little handle die here and the umbrella die. And I'm going to run these through the Big Shot with my magnetic platform. Okay, I've cut out my umbrella, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there and mount that right onto the handle. There we go. Let's bring this piece back in, and I can mount this right onto the Tempting Turquoise cardstock mat. Just a nice little mat for that. And we'll put the umbrella on the back here. Oh, look at that. You gotta do that little check mark, otherwise you get a little string hanging, and I didn't quite have enough room there on that little end. Okay, and then this piece will be mounted with dimensionals. So let's see how that umbrella piece is looking. I really like that. I'm going to bring in kind of a larger piece of little bit of covering here. Now this is a Stampin' Spritzer, and I put about 4 drops of the ink refill with the high concentrated alcohol in here. The high concentrated alcohol just keeps it, helps it dry more quickly. So then I am just going to do one little spurt across. I did get a couple little spots on here that are going to be a bit heavier. I'm just not going to worry about it because most of it's going to be covered, and it's not going to be a big deal. However, I do think I want to get a little more pink over here. So in order to avoid getting those spots, one way to do it is to spritz it a couple of times on your scratch paper to make sure you're kind of getting a, oh, look at that. See, I did that again. And what I did there is I didn't give it a full push, and that's how I got some more of those. You need to kind of give it a really firm push. And again, most of these will be covered, so I'm not too worried about it. And you can see there'll just be a few in there. But I really did like how that pop of pink just is, you know, going to make the seem a little bit brighter. So let's add some adhesive on the back side. And then we'll put down our card front here. I have some Whisper White Baker's Twine. I'm going to wrap that around a couple of times on the front here. Okay, we'll just snip that off. And tie a bow to the left side. You can adjust where you're going to put your bow, and you can push it up and down. That's easy. But you can also slide it to your left just by kind of holding it on both sides and kind of doing this kind of a motion. And that will help you slide that twine into place. I'll trim those down once I know exactly where I want them, how big I want the bow, and then how long I'll want those tails. Okay, just getting these backing off of the dimensionals here. And take that off. There we go. And then we can just place down our little focal umbrella. So now you can see that some of these spots are kind of showing, but a majority of them are covered up. So even if you feel like, oh man, I messed up, give it a try. Cover it up, see if it's something you can live with. If you can't, then of course the option would be to redo, but I'm just fine with those few that ended up showing. So I wanted to add just a little more, another little bright spot on here. So I took the Tree Builder punch and just a scrap of So Saffron paper that I happen to have, and I punched out this little flower, and I'm going to take and put it on a mini glue dot and just put it right there. Give a little flower to that, little addition. And we'll take one of the little rhinestones, put that in the center with a little bit of bright bling. There's your card front for the brighter day. I have one additional piece of Whisper White cardstock, and on here I'm going to just stamp the sentiment, I'm here for you. And this will also double as a writing surface on the inside. So we'll just stamp the I'm here for you. And to kind of pull that melon mambo from the front into the inside of the card, there's these darling little hearts that look like they're raining. Let's stamp that one off, and we'll just give it a little bit of pop of pink on the inside and do a little bit of raining hearts there. And then I'll just add this to the inside of my card for a writing surface. This is the first time you've watched one of my videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can get notice of whenever I post another video. And you can find all of the directions for this card and the dimensions on my blog at mystamplady.com. And you can also find all the supplies in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris at mystamplady.com. Thanks so much for watching.